and I'm the 4-H agent in Rowan County. Today I'm here to talk to you about writing thank you notes. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about 4-H. 4-H is the youth development component of cooperative extension and is for youth ages 5 to 18. 4-H is represented by a clover with 4 H's on it. The H's stand for head, heart, hands, and health. Today we will use our head as we think about what we appreciate about others, our heart to show sincere love, gratitude, and appreciation to others, and our hands as we write these notes. We will also utilize health. A study at the University of Texas at Austin shows that taking time to write a thank you note can benefit our own well-being and the person we're thanking, which helps our mental health. So why are thank you notes so important? Thank you notes are great to show appreciation for what others have done for you and just say thank you. I think a handwritten note means so much more than sending it in an email or a text or a Snapchat. Also, it makes somebody else's day brighter. A lot of times in our society, we forget to help somebody else, and the thank you note can do just that. And I don't know about you, but I love receiving a note from someone in my mailbox. It just makes me feel good. So now let's talk about the different types of paper that you might have available for you to write your thank you notes on. Those of you who are older, if you want to make your thank you note look a little more professional, I recommend that you write it on something like this. That is the thank you note card that you can buy in the store. Usually they come in packages of 10 or 12 or 24 so that you have plenty on hand. Here's another example of one that I have. Another one that you could use would be a blank thank you note card on the inside that just has a design on the outside. It doesn't say thank you anywhere, but you could use this as a thank you note or some other form of just a note to send to somebody to help make their day brighter. You could also use just a notepad and something easy that you could just keep on hand that's maybe decorative that you could write on and just keep in your drawer at home. And then if you're younger or if you are very creative, you could also do your own handwritten cards and decorate them however you wish on the outside. These are fun, these are interactive, they require a little more time sometimes, but they're definitely your own. You can make them your own, so it's a lot of fun. And then you can write your thank you note on the inside. Before we do that though, what I always recommend is that you start with notebook paper. It's always good to write a first draft or maybe a second or third draft on notebook paper to make sure that you get everything written that you want to. You can practice, you can make sure all your words are spelled right before you write it on your thank you note card that you're actually going to send. So now it's time to start writing our thank you notes. But have you thought about who you might write your thank you note to? I have some recommendations, especially since we're at home right now and you can't go to school. We're not around people that we're normally around. So there's lots of folks that may really enjoy hearing from you during this time away from them. First of all, you might want to write a thank you note to one of your teachers, just to tell them how much you appreciate them or how much you miss their class or what they've done for you, and just tell them thank you. You might also write it to a grandparent or someone maybe who's elderly who just can't get out right now and may just really need their spirits lifted during this time. You could also write it to a friend and tell them why you appreciate their friendship. You could write it to a parent or a sibling or a grandparent and just express your appreciation for them. So think about who you want to write your thank you note to, and then we'll get started. Go ahead and get your paper and your pen or pencil ready, and feel free to pause at any time if you need to watch what's on the screen for a little bit longer. So here's a basic template for you to follow. I first started with the date in the top right-hand corner. Then you're going to write Dear whomever. So it might be Mr. Smith, Mrs. Allen, Miss Stewart, and make sure that you put a comma at the end. Then you're going to write thank you for, and make sure you indent that first sentence. Then you're going to write a few more sentences, and I'll tell you more about what should be in those sentences in a moment. And then you're going to sign it sincerely and your name. Hopefully now you have your template written, and now it's time to look at what should be in the meat of your thank you note. So your first sentence should say thank you for, and you fill in the blank. We want to be really specific here. We want whoever you're writing this thank you note to know exactly what you're talking about. And so it's very important that you tell them and give them all the specifics that they need to know about why you are thanking them. In your next few sentences, you want to be very sincere and very genuine and very heartfelt and tell them exactly how whatever they did for you was meaningful. Maybe what you learned from it, why it was important to you, how it helped you in some way, how you'll use it in the future. You just need to be very heartfelt in this part so that they really know that you are thankful and care about what they did for you. In your last sentence, you want to tell them thank you one last time, but without saying the words thank you. So just explain to them how you appreciate them in a different way. So you could say something like, I appreciate your generosity and support, or your blank was much appreciated, or I look forward to working with you again in the future. It just depends on what they did for you as to how you want to say thank you again to them. Lastly, you need to end your letter by writing something like sincerely, or love, or in kind regards, or your friend, comma, and then signing your name. Typically, you would sign your name in cursive. So if you don't know how to do that, I encourage you to talk to your parents and see if they can help you. Spelling your words correctly is also very important in a thank you note. I have given to you some commonly misspelled words that are often used in thank you notes, so please use these to help you as you write. Let's look at some examples of thank you notes so that you are fully prepared to write your own thank you note in just a few minutes. Dear Mrs. Smith, thank you for being an amazing teacher. You are always so happy, kind, and willing to help, even when I'm frustrated. I've already learned so much from you. I miss being in your class right now, but I'll see you soon. Stay well and know you are appreciated. Sincerely, John Brown. Here's our second example. Dear Mr. Goodnight, thank you for the journal and $25 check you gave me for graduation. The journal will allow me to write about my college journey, and the money will be helpful as I pay for many college-related supplies. This is an exciting time in my life, and it means so much to have your support. I appreciate your help as I embark on this new journey in life. Sincerely, Nathan Phillips. Example number 3 says, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Hoffner, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to volunteer with Rowan County 4-H during our service project. You did a great job helping me and working with other 4-Hers involved in this project. We were able to make a bigger impact on our community because of your expertise and help. I appreciate your generosity and support and look forward to working with you in the future. Sincerely, Sally Smith, Rowan County 4-H member. You should now have everything that you need to go ahead and write your thank you note. So I encourage you to pause this video, go ahead and write your rough draft, your first draft of your thank you note, and then whenever you're done, come back to the video and we'll talk more about what's next. Now that you're done with your first draft of your thank you note, it would be a good time to have your parents or a friend or someone else in your household look over your thank you note just to make sure that everything is spelled correctly and that it sounds okay. And then it's time to do your final thank you note. Whenever you do your thank you note, if you're doing it on one of these type of cards, you would need to open it up. And you don't write on the top section, you would only write on the bottom section. If your thank you note is this direction, then you would open it up. And you don't write on the left, you only write on the right side. So just make sure that you don't fill up the whole area because this side is meant to be blank. So if you decided to do the creative, crafty type thank you note like this, let's talk about some things that you can do to decorate the front of your thank you note. Basically, you can make anything you want. You could draw, you can cut and paste, you can use things like stickers that you might have laying around your house to decorate your thank you note. So I'm going to tell you some easy things that you can do to decorate that don't take much time or effort. So I always like to make hearts. They're really easy to make. So you just take your paper and fold it in half, and then you just cut half of a heart on your piece of paper. And when you fold it, you've got your whole heart, and so it's always going to look pretty. So you can do some of those. You can also do a flower like I did on this one, and I used the same method, but I just made a different shape to cut petals. So I took one piece of paper, I folded it in half like this, and then I just made a shape that I thought looked kind of like a petal. And then you fold it out, and there's your petals, and you just make several of them and make a flower. You could also do polka dots and just squiggle lines and things like that, very basic. Maybe you're very creative and crafty and can draw really well, and you can draw something pretty on your thank you note too. I do encourage you to keep your drawings to the front side only of your thank you note so that it's on the cover, and that way you can use the inside on the right to write your thank you note. So these are my children. This is Sadie. Can you say hey?
Hey.
And Luke. Say hey,
Hey.
Luke. And they are working on some thank you notes too. Sadie is 3 and Luke is 5. So you can do this with children of all ages. And then obviously the big kids can do these too and do them in an even more professional manner. So they are working on decorating right now. So just some ideas for parents to help you. You can cut out some shapes and let them glue. They can cut out shapes. Sadie likes to tear paper and just glue it to put on the front. Luke is decorating his with a marker. And on the inside, Luke, can you hold yours up on the inside? On the inside, he's writing a thank you note to his preschool teacher. And he wrote the part that says, "Dear Mrs. Sharon," and he wrote,
Miss Sharon.
Yep, Miss Sharon, and then he wrote "Love Luke," and he told me what to write on the other part, so that made it a little bit easier since they are pretty young. So you can be crafty, you can have fun, you can get a little messy, and make some really cool, creative thank you notes. So let's think about how we are going to get our thank you note to the person that it is going to. At other times of the year, you may be able to personally deliver your thank you note, which is a good way to go about it. Here is an example of a thank you note that someone sent me that they received from a 6-year-old, and he wanted to wrap it up like a wand and hand delivered it. So you can get creative with your delivery methods. But usually you are going to be addressing an envelope, which is what we're going to look at now. Addressing an envelope seems to be a lost art among a lot of our youth today, so I've tried to make this very easy for everybody to understand. In the top left-hand corner, you would write your name on the top line and then your home address using the bottom 2 lines. Then in the very middle of the envelope, you're going to write the name of the person that you're sending your letter to and then their address on 2 different lines. Then you would put a stamp in the top right-hand corner. If you have questions or need help with this, please continue to look over this diagram and also solicit the help of your family. Now it's time to stick your thank you note in the envelope, tape it or lick it shut, put your stamp on it, and then send it to the person that you wrote it for. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial on how to write a good thank you note, and I hope that the folks that you send it to will love them. Remember that your thank you notes don't have to be fancy and they don't have to be perfect, but they should be sincere and genuine so that the folks that are getting them truly feel honored and it brightens their day. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at Laura_Allen@ncsu.edu. And if you'd like to, put copies or pictures of your thank you notes in the comments under this video. Thanks and have a great day.